My name is Davy Wessels. President Trump, I see a lot of liberals wants to tell you what's going on in South Africa. Well, on ground level, our situation is dismal. And yes, you are correct in your assumption that South Africa is a failed state. We are experiencing a warlike situation with more than 22,000 people being murdered each year, hundreds of thousands of people being affected by crime each year. Thousands of our people and children are being murdered and raped on a daily basis. I'm a boer and farmer, and since the ANC came into power, thousands of white farmers were murdered and tortured to death on their farms. This being actively encouraged by the EFF and ANC. People are dying in state hospitals, always, waiting for days to be admitted for standard procedures. All the while, the ANC cadre steals the money, which is supposed to go to the needy. All state institutions are failing, and the woke liberal DA are the ones signing the expropriation law into power, since they are part of the ANC-led government. The situation is so bad currently that if a loved one doesn't answer their phone, you're immediately worried about what could have happened to them. The woke liberals and the ANC is trying to paint a rosy picture, but if you want our help in your investigation, we will show you the reality on ground level. We already gathered 50,000 signatures in 2 days in support of this message of us. And it is to be handed over in a huge gathering by our fellow Boers and Patriots Saturday the 15th at the US Embassy in Pretoria. This gathering is organized by myself and fellow Afrikaner Willem Petzer. We sincerely hope this message will reach you, and we want to thank the international community for their continued support.
Send in private planes to pick up 8,000 Caucasian South African refugees?
Welcome! The way I understand refugee is that if you are a refugee, then something fucking horrific was supposed to happen to you, which it didn't.
The people that claim that they are being genocided are actually pro-apartheid.
The Afrikaners that are leaving for America are broke. They don't have money, these guys.
You may recall that on the day he was sworn in, President Trump signed an executive order, effectively stopping any refugees from being allowed to come and resettle in the United States. But just a few weeks later, President Trump announced that he was making an exception, and not only that, he would expedite the processing of refugee claims by one group of people from Africa. Africans President Trump has paved a quick path for are these South Africans. And yes, they are white.
Welcome! Welcome to the United States of America.
So yesterday we see the first South Africans coming as refugees. Take a look. Afrikaners, they're calling them, and look at all of them with the American flag, smiling, so happy to be rescued. Here they are when they come into the airport getting their briefing by American leadership here. And you can see them all with their American flags, holding the babies. Everybody's so excited to be here. The left is having an absolute meltdown. They don't like these people coming in peaceful, bringing good things into the country, but they'll support all the bad ones. They'll even get on planes to go see the gang members in El Salvador, right?
Inherited the land that the black people had to give up. It was called forced removal. It's something called a Bantustan policy, where they moved black.
Mainstream media just can't hate these people enough.
South Africa says that the allegations about persecution of these people, the allegations are false, according to South Africa.
Each one of these crosses represents a farmer that's been killed. You can see the crosses line the street on both sides for as far as the eye can see. That's what's happened to the South African farmer. Now take a look at these stats. What benefit did these white South African farmers bring to the region? Well, let's see. 95% of corn. They produce 99% of wheat, 98% of cotton, 97% of citrus, 99% of potatoes. Go down the list: tomatoes, soybean, poultry, cattle, wool. Let's see what happens now. I'm curious, aren't you?
Send in private planes to pick up 8,000 Caucasian South African refugees when we're kicking people out that are in the middle of their immigration proceedings here in the U.S. now? Literally having people show up for their final steps of their immigration process and having them arrested, detained, and deported. It doesn't make any sense to me unless...
Right, good morning, guys. I just want to get something off my chest. You saw this 49 Afrikaners that arrived in the USA as refugees. First of all, I don't understand why they are called refugees, because the way I understand refugee is that If you are a refugee, then something fucking horrific was supposed to happen to you, which it didn't. It didn't. You were not in any refugee camp or whatsoever in your own country. Now, the point that I want to make across is, to me, what you are doing, it's like you are cowards. You are running away from your heritage, from your home country. Let me tell you one thing, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here.
For anyone who has any problems with refugees, I do not want to hear you talk about the South African white refugees and be like, they're coming here legally, it's fine, because their own government even says that they are not vetted. While Donald Trump says that they are completely vetted, that's 100% untrue, according to the South African government. They also said that the people that claim that they are being genocided are actually pro-apartheid, and that's why they're moving to the United States. And they're saying straight up that it is a move for political advantage. The South African government also came out and said that it's really ironic that Trump is allowing the most economically privileged people from around the world to enter the United States while denying the most vulnerable people who are trying to immigrate to the United States. Like, let's be clear here. These people are becoming refugees to the United States specifically because they are upset that people are upset in South Africa that they are pro-apartheid. And yet Donald Trump will not accept any refugees that are actually coming here for detrimental circumstances. Again, it's just racism. That's all it is.
The Afrikaners that are leaving for America are broke. They don't have money, these guys. So you don't need to worry that, oh, we're losing voices that keep private schools open, having great private hospitals. Those are not the Afrikaners that are leaving. These are Afrikaners that are unemployed, and they believe that BE has caused them to be unemployed, and that now, essentially, all the different policies that have been put in place prioritizes black people more and has now left them behind. That those are the people that are leaving the country. Going to another country to be a refugee is crazy business. It's wild. Like, do you understand that you are saying that you are equivalent to an individual that is coming from a war-stricken country? That's essentially what you're saying. So that means that you are saying that things were so bad in your current country that you didn't have access to water, you didn't have access to food, you didn't have access to housing. That's essentially what you're saying. And it's possible that it was happening to some of these white Afrikaners. But my goodness, dog, like, yeah, it takes a lot of humility. I didn't know that Afrikaners had such humility. I've actually been impressed that some of these Afrikaners are humble enough to want to become refugees. Imagine, want to become refugees where they're going to be given the absolute bare minimum. You should check on TikTok. There are videos of people showing the places where they're staying, where before they're actually dispersed into the different areas that they're going to be relocated. It really is the bare minimum. So yeah, it's no one who is coming from a nice poshy lifestyle with all the farms and all of that is going to be leaving to go to America. It's really just going to be poor Afrikaners. I'll be very surprised if there are any rich Afrikaners. Please come into the comment section and say, listen, I'm a rich Afrikaner and I am actually going to be leaving. I'll be very surprised if they're there. But yeah, to the poor Afrikaners, no, if you guys are suffering that much, you've got my full support. I mean, maybe you guys don't care about my support, but I am telling you that I personally am fully in support of you guys seeking a better life in America as a refugee.
No, we do not regret our votes for Donald J. Trump.
I don't regret a damn thing.
Okay, so the ones that scared of terrorists and you listen to the MSM and you thinking we don't regret our votes? No. No. Please understand.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
You want us to regret our votes.
Don't get it twisted.
That ain't how it's laying down. It ain't rolling like that.
Okay, so no, we do not regret our vote at all. Please understand that.
We know what's going on. So.
Yes. We understand what's going on. We knew what was going on before we put our votes in.
I'm telling you, that's why we put our votes in.
Our votes in.
I'm telling you, right? That's why we voted for the nigga. We know what the fuck going on.
Exactly.
We done been down the rabbit hole. We done did our research. We done found out things. I'm not saying that we know totally everything that's going on, but
We
understand. We understand a hell of a lot. And I'm telling you, you keep listening to mainstream media and all the little different memes that they putting in mainstream media, and they keep using the fear tactics and fear mongering on you guys, and you guys keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We're just not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Shit.
Okay, so listen.
I couldn't get it out. Damn.
Listen, we don't regret our votes. We just want to make it clear.
Make it clear. We don't
to the
regret
ones that's
shit. I don't regret
lost in the
shit.
sauce.
Okay.
Bam. We still stand 100% with Trump.
Standing 10 toes down. Okay.
Period.
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank accounts and go into crippling credit card debt, so that when I had an emergency, I had money set aside. So when my son's glasses break, I could actually get him new ones. I can't do any of that right now. My car broke down, and so I'm in a friend's car just to work, to continue living paycheck to paycheck. I knew it was going to be hard, and that it wasn't going to come fast. I just wish that things would work out better. I really regret that everything is taking so long, because there's so much pushback, because I don't even know the reasons anymore. I don't understand why good things have to be trampled on. I don't know why good people have to be trampled on. I don't want a lot. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to not live paycheck to paycheck. I just want to be able to live and work. I work 7 days a week to not even make ends meet sometimes, and my car broke down, and I have a few $1,000s worth of repairs to do on it. My son's glasses broke, and I can't even take him to the eye doctor. I just want to get past the hard part. I want to get to the part where it's not just crippling. I know he's working on it. I know that it's gonna get better, and that it wouldn't have been any better with anybody else. I just really needed things to start working again. They're still not. I mean, I owe more in taxes this year, which is just more debt that I can't pay. And I have to pay. It's just another $100 or so a month that I can't afford. So no, I guess I really don't regret voting for Donald Trump. I just regret that his changes didn't come sooner. I just need relief. I need the good things to start coming. I know it's coming. I just need it sooner rather than later right now. Good vibes, everybody. Thank you. And yeah, thanks.
They took my wife.
This man who wished not to be identified says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in the United States for a few years. She was one of 3 people taken from this home. I'm told the 2 others were men who worked in construction. You see them here. This video, only a minute and 52 seconds long, we do not see his wife being removed from the home. But this is a picture of her that he keeps in his wallet. Her name is Vianis Ramirez, and he says she was in the process of becoming a United States citizen.
She already had a court date. She was good. Everything's good. He just came in and snatched her.
These are pictures from the Department of Homeland Security detaining other undocumented men and women in Broward County.
It's despicable what they're doing right now. It's very embarrassing.
President Donald Trump arrived at his Trump National Golf Resort in Doral Saturday, set to host GOP leaders for a conference. This man hopes this message makes it to him.
If I get a chance to talk to you, man, yo, please, man, let's work something out. So you, man, let me keep my wife here in the United States, man. She deserves to be here, man.
ICE reports nearly one.
What do you love about Donald Trump?
I love the man. He's a real man. And I've been to 5 Trump rallies, and it just doesn't. We need him. This country needs him.
For what specifically? Like, what's the one thing when you say we need Donald Trump? What's the thing
He's an excellent leader. He made lots of changes that really got our country moving. And these Democrats are ruining our country. They're just hell bent on turning this country into a communist country. And they're going to try socialism first, then it'll go to communism. And we can't have that.
Where do you see that you're talking about evidenced in the last few years?
Trying to go to socialism? Well, let me think about that, because there's lots of things, but.
So far in this interview, it's a standard release of generic talking points about how evil, scary, and socialist those libs are, and how Trump is the superhero that we all need to stop them. So time for the details that Trump never let them in on.
All the regulations, big government. The government just keeps getting bigger. Hiring IRS agents to go after we the people, we the taxpayers that work to support the lazy Democrats that refuse to work. And that's why we need Donald Trump. Everybody in this country needs to work if they're able.
But, our joblessness numbers now are quite low in this country.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I'm going off the metrics that we use for every president and every administration. The Department of Labor statistics say that we have very low unemployment now.
How can that be when we have...
I'm not a labor expert, but I'm going off the numbers that we credit Trump and Clinton and...
illegal aliens in our country that are unaccounted for. And just because there's jobs out there, that's not Biden's doing.
I'm not saying. I'm just talking about the current state of affairs right now. Like whatever presidency, whether it's like I said, Clinton or Reagan or Trump or Biden, we go off of Department of Labor statistics to say where the joblessness rate is, the unemployment rate, inflation, all of that. So right now we are in a good spot historically going by that metric. The one that we credited Donald Trump with is the one we now credit Joe Biden with. So I'm asking, what is it about this time that makes that different for you?
What has he done to improve our country? What has Joe Biden done to improve our country?
Well, Michael Short did just mention the jobless numbers, but the only time you're allowed to mention jobs is when you're claiming that those scary migrants from the South are taking all of them. But let's get back to those specifics.
You can bring up the jobless thing, but our country is being destroyed.
Can you get more specific? So, I'm just asking because I have no horse in the race. I'm just asking what it is specifically.
I don't know. I'm not well spoken enough to tell you that, but
you're saying he's destroyed the country. How has he destroyed the country?
The open border is the main thing. Yes. And his liberal policies and these liberal Democrat judges that are letting criminals out on our streets that are, nobody's held accountable when they break the law. Stores are closing because of all the violence. They're terrible.
If President Biden were to come up to you now and say hi and introduce himself, what would you tell the president?
You probably don't want to know.
No, I wouldn't have.
Go. Joe's got to go. He's so demented, he doesn't even know where he's at. He's not running the country.
Who's running the country then?
Oh, Barack Obama.
He's running the country?
Yeah, from behind the scenes, yep.
Oh.
Joe Biden's not capable of doing anything. He can't even figure out how to get off of us.
So excited for everyone to call me a bad person again in my comments, but guess what? I do not care about Nebraska going bankrupt in 6 months. I do not care. I do not care. Maybe a few other of those red states should go bankrupt in 6 months so the blue states can swoop in to save them, so they can understand that we are not the bad ones. We are not the poor ones. We are not the ones who cannot survive under the orange turds' crazy policies. But you know why I don't feel bad for Nebraska? You know why? Because I believe I heard 65% of their workforce is undocumented people, which means they're not coming to work anymore, which means work's not happening, which means all the farmers in Nebraska are going to go bankrupt because they all went out there and voted against their neighbors. 65% of neighbors who are immigrants, okay? Fuck around and find out at this point. You know what I mean? And of course, I do feel bad for those blue people in Nebraska who did not vote for this. So unfortunate. That's what you get for being racist and not wanting immigrants in this country, even though they're paying taxes and contributing. So